Hi guys, welcome back to another weekly analysis video. Last week was very volatile. I think everyone knows this. A lot of geopolitical events happened last week. What did we have? We had short covering, which we noticed in the market. Now, this short covering I noticed from this part onwards. I updated this message in the Telegram group that somebody is taking big short covering positions of August month futures. Now, August month futures, why are they doing short covering from 29th itself? This I'll explain in the context of market structure. Next, we had the GAN levels, the weekly GAN levels. You can see the exact weekly top was made in the GAN level, which I shared in the Telegram group. Again, we had on expiry day this entire big volatile move. This move, we had 12:30, I think 12:15 to 1:30. 1:30, we had an important time zone, and exactly in 1:30 candle the price hit the GAN levels and we got a nasty fall. This is called price and time squaring. I'll talk about this later in some other video, but right now this is what happened last week. Major event which happened was actually geopolitical. Trump's comments on India, that he said that there'll be a penalty on India regarding the purchase of oil from Russia. And also the second statement he made was, the extra bit unnecessary statement he made was, India and Russia dead economies. That is, I think, unnecessary. And I shared one small theory that if market gaps down and this kind of sell-off comes, there can be a geopolitical event, like meaning friends of the GOI, government of India, who can come and save the market and save the face value here. Because just by someone who's posting some message on social media, next market, some big economy like India, the market cannot crash. So they came and saved it. And once they finish off, I think at this point, I saw some news clips where some channels were like, your Trump's comments did not have any impact on your Indian market. Indian market is rallying strong. So I said, once this happens, once the job is done, saving the face value is over, then immediately they will start dumping in the market, because their entire job here was just to save the face value of the government, right? So to show that we are resilient, no issues with that. It's very common. This happens a lot. Now, what do we have? What do we have? What is the data we have available? What is the structure information we have available? First thing, we know that August 7th. Now, August 7th is important. The reason is, when the Trump tariff was supposed to come on August 1st, Trump was expecting Modi or someone from the official delegation of India to contact them after he made such comments in the market, to come and buckle under pressure to make a deal. But we did not buckle in under any pressure. We did not commit any deal. We did not even call them back. So what he did was, in let's say, unexpectedly, like we did not play the same rules of what other countries like Europe and other states did for US. They buckled under pressure. He did the same tactic in Europe also. Before Europe and US struck a tariff deal, he tried to say some unnecessary comments about countries, and they fall under some pressure situations, and they buckled and made a trade deal. India did not do that. So what he did was, in to save his own image, he postponed the deal to August 7th. Now, immediately August 7th becomes an important day for us. That is next week expiry day. All right, we'll keep that in mind. Next important, this is the first time point. Next one is your time cycle dates. Now, time cycle dates, we have this from a very long time. We know that the next date is coming here, major time cycle from 13th August to 19th August. So current minor time cycle triggered a shortfall, a short in the market, no issues with that. Previous minor time cycle also triggered. What happened in the last major time cycle? Let's see. So last major time cycle was near your month of May. It triggered 1 month full of sideways momentum. It triggered from a trending move, right? From this trending move, market went completely sideways for 1 month. Now, before that, what happened? We saw in the major time cycle this year only, the bottom, the secondary bottom of the March month, and then we triggered nearly a 1300 points, 13 to 1500 points move in the market. So this was low expectation. Expected L was there, means we were expecting a low to be made in the market. We got a secondary low and market rally. Now for the current major time cycle starting from 13th August, we are also expecting a low. This is a normal time cycle. Now what is normal, what is inversion, you can check it out in the time cycle video which I shared. All right. Now these are the two time points, 7th August and 13th August onwards. Something can happen. Next, after this, what do we know? We know that on a higher time frame, Nifty, let's go to a daily chart. You can see that this gap was pending. This gap is pending on the downside. Correct? There's one gap on the bottom near your neckline. This is what is the neckline apparently. Now everyone, every Tom, Dick and Harry analysts are saying this is expected head and shoulders pattern. Everyone is saying that. So once this starts to go to the retail mindset, okay, they're expecting a bounce as long as neckline comes, head and shoulders, right shoulder pattern, right? If everyone is expecting a bounce, market will continue to fall down. Keep that in mind. Very important. I already gave you one example in the Telegram group recently why market did not reverse here. Simple. So this gap is pending for a very, very long time. Market will come to fill it up. Whether in our old analysis, what did we discuss? That whether it comes in a straight line or if it goes next August month time pass, then comes back in September. That is also possible, right? We discussed this nearly, I think, when it market was trading in the highs in the month of July. We discussed this there. What else do we have? Now this is there. And the structure right now, the structure of the market here, this pullback right now, this pullback was 38 to 50%. If you see this pullback here, this is a 38 to 50% zone pullback. So I told you many times the 38 to 50% zone is the zone of continuation. Zone of continuation, what do I mean by that? If market wants to continue in a rally or a down move, whatever trending move, this 38 to 50% retracement, Fibonacci retracement, this will act as a sell on rise, or if it's again bullish setup, means it will act as a buy on dip. Okay, so for this case, it is acting as a sell on rise. Simple as that. And this structure, if we take from this point, from 25,246 level, this is a some sort of a fifth wave. Now, till where is this valid? Let's make two scenarios to find out how we can trade this setup now. Let me just remove all these drawings. All right. What we're going to do right now is from here, primary scenario, the first case we'll take. Keep in mind that 7th August is the date. So we are discussing what are the possible scenarios before 7th August. Before 7th August, what can happen, right? So first case, we are taking this as a fifth wave. So what we'll do is we'll just mark your Fibonacci extension, because we learned in the Elliot wave master course that fifth wave can expected if there's a big move in the market, very fast move in fifth wave, it can go all the way up to your 78 to 1x target, right? So that is coming around your, let me just mark it here, 24,450 to 24,307. So keep this in mind. Now this will differentiate between continuous sell-off and bounce in the market. All right, I'll explain it to you right now. Very simple. Watch this. 1 second. Yeah. Market falls directly into wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Wave 5 here, as long as price is sustaining above this zone, 24,450 and 24,300. Let's take this. Okay. As long as price is above this, we are definitely going for a bounce in the market. That is for sure. It can go all the way up to 25,200. That is a later issue. Right now, as long as market is sustaining above this zone, we are going for a bounce. That is guarantee. Now we know this. Let's see if on a smaller time frame, what can happen before your 7th August. So before 7th August, right now, if you see this move, this is directly in some wave 3. On Monday onwards, if we see a pullback in the market, sideways pullback, and we have 7th August here. If market is in a sideways move till 7th August, after 7th August, we can trigger a move to go towards your 13th August. What is 13th August? Again, your major time cycle starts. Simple as that, right? Now, what if market is already down? What if market is already down by 7th August? What to do then? Then we can plan for an opposite direction move as long as this zone is intact. Your 24,450 to 24,300. As long as this zone is intact, we can plan for a reversal. Now, what if this zone breaks? We'll talk about that also. But so far, this should be clear. All right, this is your primary setup. Now we'll talk about the secondary setup. What if this zone breaks? What to do then? If this zone breaks, market is going to open down levels for 24,000. This is a minimum target. All right, this is a minimum target. Now we don't know whether here this entire range opens up. Market for the next 1.5 months will be stuck in this range like this, or it's going to continue fall down. Now this continuation of fall, I think I highlighted this earlier. I told you that this point will trigger a 38 to 50% fall here in the entire bottom, from bottom to top. This 38-50% fall is coming around 23,700 to 24,100. So this move will be some higher degree fourth wave. If this also breaks, now second leg, this also breaks, then we are going for 22,500 and we can go below that also. But first, this will be minimum target, right? 23,000 and 22,500. That is the implication if this big zone breaks. Now we'll talk about that later on in another video, but right now for next week, we have the entire focus point on 7th August and what is the price action before 7th August. Understood? That should be the clear point. Whether market is going sideways before 7th August or market is already dipped, making a swing low near 7th August. These are the two things we want to find out. All right. Now, question is, how do we trade this? How does an option buyer trade this? I've told this before also, option buyer has no option but to look for low risk setups. First thing we'll do is we'll focus on the weekly CAN levels that I'll share in the Telegram group. And after that, we have this area, right? So this becomes a low risk setup area. This low risk setup gives a small SL. If this small SL happens, then we can look for a nice trending move later on. So how do I confirm whether bounce is going to come? So again, for an option buyer, you have no choice at the moment to either find out two patterns. What patterns? That this N pattern here like this is your finishing towards the end, towards the bottom. You see this kind of pattern and then rally. So same thing on a smaller time frame. Down like this, right? This is all you need to find out for an option buyer. This is one of the patterns. Second pattern is simple. Suppose you don't understand this fall, then you wait for N pattern like this. Okay, this is your confirmation. Now option seller has to wait for this pattern if you want to catch a directional move. Option sellers, I think it's very clear. Until 7th August, we have a range to play, right? 24,900 to 24,300. This is a range, and beyond this, I don't need to tell you. When you have a range for the expiry, then you can do whatever you want. All right. Next question here is what to do if market breaks this level. What to do if market breaks down from this level? This breakdown, you don't know whether market is going to come back up, go back down. Suppose market breaks this, comes here to 7th. So only thing you can do here is that wait till 7th. If this level, if this zone breaks down before 7th, I'm talking about before 7th, if market breaks down below the zone, then there is no trade setup. You have to wait for this because volatility will be very high after that if this breaks down before 7th. All right, keep that in mind. Now we have discussed all the scenarios. Question is, why are we looking for a setup here? Simple reason, I've told you. this on a higher time frame will be a low risk setup. That is why we are looking for a setup at this point. This can trigger a nice pullback. And this pullback, we don't know how far it will go. It will go back to the anchor point, or whether it is going to go sideways here. That we will see later on. But this is a low risk setup area. And if this zone also breaks, suppose it breaks down, this will tell us a guarantee that higher time frame we are going for lower levels. Higher time frame we are going for lower levels, and we need to expect volatility for the entire month of August and September. That is guaranteed. This will be the start minimum level of covering. So this entire gap will get covered. Minimum level will come to here. This is what we know. This is why we are looking for a setup here. For one confirmation for reversal or next August month structure, full how will it be? All right. Now, last week we had stocks. Again, let's quickly recap what happened last week in some stocks. Axis Bank, I think time zone was there very clear. Major moves came in the Monday itself, just like Nifty. Axis Bank, we had a 2.4% fall. Very good fall from exactly the time zone here. You can see market pulls back into it, a previous pattern, market pulls back and then fall. After Axis Bank, we had your Apollo. All these time zones are not different stocks. The same stocks repeated again and again. Apollo Hospital was very, very good. It was clean setup. It was a very, very clean setup. Decent pattern here. Previous swing low breaks and then fall. Nearly a 2.2% scalp opportunity here. Now, Bharat Forge was again, it was a very volatile stock. This entire pattern, you see, there's a sideways pattern here, and then it triggered a trending move in the market. Previous move was down move. Market goes into a sideways pattern. What will be the next move? Always, what is the previous move? Suppose this is bearish, and market will continue the same move after a sideways. I think I've covered this in very detailed manner in the Elliot Wave Master Course. Every lecture I've told this, right? If previous move is bearish, market goes into sideways consolidation, the next wave or next move will also be bearish. We had a nice 3% fall in this, exactly from the time zone market, gave a good reversal. So Tata Motors, we had nearly a 4.5% fall, a very good move. But again, this stock is dominated by some news events. Global tariffs are definitely impacting all the automobile stocks, and that is something we should keep a track of. But again, clean setup, breakdown of a trend line, and very good fall in the market. Now, the star of the week is Asian Paints, definitely exact bottom in the time zone, Monday morning itself. And this is a simple reversal pattern. I think I just spoke about this in the Nifty chart, right? We want to find a bottom like this. This is what happened in Asian Paints exactly. And the stock rallied nearly 5.5%. 5.5% on monthly expiry week is actually very, very good. Usually what happens, monthly expiry week, we do not expect any movement. We expect some sideways movement for all the stock options to expire. But again, 5.5% move is a very, very good move. We'll see what is the next week star of the week, and we will track that. Again, if you want these stocks time analysis for free, you can join the Telegram group. Now, Telegram group is free. Whenever you join, make sure your messages is on. When you request to join, the Telegram group members or someone from the staff will definitely message you on Telegram to ask some questions. All right. Nowadays, people are changing the names and joining. So to verify that, we have a small method, some few questions. Just verify yourself and then you can join for free in the Telegram group. I hope you understand what are we looking for in Nifty. The dates is very clear. Just watch the video again. You will have a clear idea of what you need to look for. Then how do you trade the idea? Again, I'm not teaching you how to trade the market. I've just given my opinion. Then why are we looking for a setup here? That's very important. All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you in another video. Till then, take care and be safe.